Good morning and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Yes, baby, it is hump day. Yeah. And so I just want to bring you two quick words before I go into work. Two phrases that I want you to meditate on today. And those two phrases are be kind and be grateful. And let me tell you why I'm bringing this to you. So my niece, she was in a car accident. And so my husband and I, we decided, this was a few weeks ago, to drive up to Virginia, to check on her, make sure she good, see what we can do to be of assistance. And so when we were going up there, as soon as we got into Virginia, there was a big billboard. And the billboard said, be kind to those who showed up for you. So we passed by the billboard and I said, that's a good phrase, but I really didn't think on it. And so we kept driving. So we get us some breakfast. We had just got into town. We had drove all night, 12-hour drive. So we decided to stop and get some breakfast before we go to the room and shower and go to see my niece. So we stop and we go and get some breakfast. And so when we go to get breakfast, there was a sign on the door, but it was like a paper sign. And it was just taped to the door. And the sign said, be kind to those who showed up for you. Okay? And I'm like, oh, that's the second time we've seen this sign. So then again, we went on and we ate our breakfast. We got back in the car, went to the hotel. As we checked into the hotel, it was a picture on the wall, but in the picture, it was almost like a framed art. And it had a picture behind it, but it had words going across the picture. You already know what the word said. Be kind to those who showed up for you. And I'm like, man, this must be a running theme in Virginia. And so I'm still not letting it sink in. But I'm like, this phrase is getting repetitive. So we go see my niece, blah, 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 blah. And so later on that night, we go out to have dinner. You already know what the sign said in the restaurant. Be kind to those who showed up for you. So as we sit there and we was waiting on our order, I began to think on that thing. And what I was thinking on, is so often I don't think that we think on that, is that, and this is what I was thinking on, first of all. When I was sitting there, I said, what if I had came to this restaurant hungry? We out of town, so it ain't like we got no stove or nothing to cook on. What if I came here to get food and nobody showed up? I wouldn't even be able to eat. And at some point on that trip, me and my husband went to Walmart. I said, what if I went into that Walmart and there was nobody there to ring me up? There was no workers there. We stopped to get gas. What if nobody showed up at the service station? Would we have been able to get gas to go back home? What if I got sick up there and had to go to the hospital, but no nurses or doctors showed up? And oftentimes, I think we just take it for granted that when we show up to a business, that somebody is going to be there to serve us. But what if they're not? But the very fact that somebody shows up to serve us, we should be kind to those people. And that's basically what the sign was saying. Be kind to those who showed up to serve you. If somebody showed up to serve you, why not be kind to them? And I don't think we think that. How many times, because I know I'm guilty of it, go through a McDonald's line, they don't put ketchup in the bag. I'm fussing and complaining. Go to a Walmart or some kind of store and the line too long, I'm mumbling and complaining. May have a little attitude, get a little chip on my shoulder because I'm bothered. But what about if we just be kind to those people who decided to just show up for us? And so as I contemplated on that thing, I said, man, that's deep. Wow. And so I'm going to be mindful and I'm going to be intentional to be kind to those who showed up for me. No matter where I go, I'm going to put a smile on my face. And I'm going to even say thank you, because you didn't have to show up. I'm not going to go all into detail. As a matter of fact, I went to the grocery store yesterday, and as the lady rang me up, the first thing I said was thank you, because she didn't have to show up. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing was just being grateful. Remember I said, be kind, be grateful. Because when I looked at my niece, before I even saw her, I saw her car. Her sister had sent me a picture of the car. And it just did something in my spirit, because I'm like, it's no way she could have survived this. But when I got there and I saw her, yeah, she had some broken bones, ribs, lacerations, all of that stuff, but she was alive. And because she was alive, we were so grateful. Because I was like, Lord, you didn't have to spare my niece's life, but you did. And I'm so grateful for that. It brought me to tears to see her moving about. By the time we got there, she was at home from the hospital. And her healing process was so quick. It had amazed me. Me and my husband was looking at her like, this ain't the same person we saw in the pictures. And I'm telling you, we probably went to see her like 4 or 5 days later. If you would have saw her day 1 versus day 5, the healing process was like miraculous. It was an artery torn in her heart. Torn. That they did an emergency repair. Her tongue was cut in half. Broken bones, broken ribs. And to see her sitting there, she was a sitting miracle. And we were so grateful. And so what I want to tell you, we have to be grateful, because even when we sleep at night, the devil be trying to take us out in our sleep, but grace and mercy helps us to wake up in the morning. When we driving down the highway, the devil wished to take us out, but grace and mercy gets us back home. So if you open your eyes in the morning and you are blessed to see another day God created, be grateful. If you leave home, go to work, go to school, wherever you go, and you make it back to the house in one piece, be grateful. If you got a reasonable portion of your health, if you got mobility of your limbs, if you can see, if you can hear, if you can speak, be grateful. So many things we take for granted, and we got to stop taking stuff for granted. And we got to do 2 things. We got to be kind, and we have to be grateful. And on that, y'all, I'm out. Have a wonderful and a blessed Wednesday.